So if you guys have read any articles recently, it may come no surprise to you that I've changed my hairstyle to something more fitting with the words that I've been labelled as this past week. So you may be wondering, Alex, you do seem to look a bit like a white supremacist. It's very warm in LA. I can understand why a lot of people shave their heads, but at the same time, don't understand why everybody's wearing those big white cloaks. Gets a bit warm in there. Wonder what those are for. There's a lot of people turning up to my house in them, knocking on the Airbnb, going, "Is this where the racist house is with the commentary and the skeptic YouTubers?" I mean, we've been invited in. Apparently, some bloke called Tariq Nasheed believes that there's a racist meeting here.
You know what? Fuck black people.
That was annoying, Tariq. Can you please not direct actual racists to our house? We were having fun and enjoying our time around each other, just being friends and talking about stuff that we enjoyed. Nothing racist, surprisingly enough. Surprisingly enough, at a house full of non-racists, we didn't really talk about anything that was to do with race. We just went to hang out. That's all we wanted to do. Just came to hang out, have fun. And then I'm looking online. I'm looking through the Googles, and I'm seeing a few of my friends' names are turning up in some things written by Anita Sarkeesian, and she's talking about some panels. And Boogie 2988 is talking about some panels, and I'm thinking, I was at these panels. I was stood there in the flesh this time. I was sat there, me filming Joey Salads, having a right good time. And these aren't the panels I watched. This is not what I saw. They're talking about my friends. My friends weren't harassing anyone. They just turned up with their $700 VidCon passes that they paid for and came to listen to a bunch of people talking. And then they were kicked out and called garbage human beings and had articles written about them by people who were given a second chance by the people who are running VidCon. Now, I was looking at this thinking I'm not too happy, and the next thing I know, I'm holding my microphone, I'm thinking, God, maybe the haircut, getting a fade like this, and then having a microphone in your hand, I'm starting to become dangerously like Chris Reagan, a well-known racist and Donald Trump supporter who definitely didn't vote for Bernie Sanders. And I'm looking at all these people around me, and I'm looking at my follow backs, I'm going, well, there's a lot of obvious white supremacists here who are following me back, who've been in my house, but I haven't seen any white supremacists turn up. But apparently that's what everybody's being labelled as now. Racists, sexists, that's all my friends. Most inaccurate thing ever. And now I'm going to talk about it. The main one I want to talk about is Anita Sarkeesian, because she's literally poisoned the watering well, which is the platform. And she's managed to somehow stay relevant enough to manage to do that at VidCon. Well, she came back to VidCon to cause some more problems. I was at a panel and I watched her call Sargon, a man who turned up with a bunch of his friends to look at somebody who they disagreed with on the internet, to listen to her talk and then ask questions when the microphone was supplied to them. He was not allowed to, because she called him a garbage human being. And then when Joey Salads, who was also there with us, decided to go ask a question, he got about halfway through his sentence and she told him to go on a jog.
Next question.
I can't even ask a damn question. It's not only women that get harassed.
And then she's doing a panel with Boogie. Boogie, I think we all know, is one of the nicest guys who there is on the entire of the website. There's not really a guy nicer than him. And there's not really a guy who's more willing to listen than him. So when I see a video from Boogie 2988 where he seems to be shaking and he's scared of Anita Sarkeesian, because that's the nicest way I could put it, I'm starting to think, do you know what, maybe she's not the one being harassed. Maybe she's making other people feel uncomfortable, you know, calling somebody a garbage human being, verbally insulting somebody when they got off their own panel that they were sharing with and was equally invited to, and kicking people off or asking questions. Maybe Hank and John, maybe she is the issue here. But that's just a guess. I definitely haven't been watching her talk and treat people like garbage human beings for the last few days. Now, there's a few things that annoyed me in the Boogie 2988 video, not because it's Boogie, but because of the way he's been forced to feel. This is like bullying. It's like I've watched a guy document the fact that he was bullied. And I've been hanging with Sargon. He's been in my house. and we were talking about all this stuff and the way he was treated on the panel, and that's 2 people in a week who have been bullied by somebody, and the person has managed to get away with their bullying because of the power play they have and the fact that they're constantly playing victim themselves. It's like a Class A bullying case. I'm back at high school, I've flown to LA, and I'm back at school. This is not how professional YouTubing was meant to go. So I'm not too happy with this one, and here's a clip that really made me realise that Boogie was being so careful with his words that it was worrying.
I think the only thing that could closely represent an attack on Anita is when she said that she hoped that everybody left the panel angry and bitter and ready to fight. I countered by saying that I personally don't feel those things, and I personally don't choose to do that. And I try to foster a community that's not angry and doesn't fight. I try to foster a community that celebrates beautiful things instead. But I looked directly at her as I said it when I was done, and she seemed comfortable and fine with that answer. Before you knew it, the panel was over, and the moderator said we had about 5 minutes if anybody had any closing statements. So I made a closing statement that it took about a minute to say, and I said that I wanted to remind everybody in the audience that I am a person of privilege as a white cis male.
Privileged white cis male, Boogie 988. When I look at this man, I don't think, wow, that ex-homeless, wildly obese bloke seems to be incredibly privileged. I would really like to swap places with him. It probably is painful to live at that point, and the fact that he's so kind and is greeted with that as a response is actually disgusting, Hank and John. So why is Anita allowed to go and make somebody feel this way, have a man shake in his own YouTube video? That's not somebody who seems to be very happy with the interaction they've had. He's literally got home and he's still shook up by the interaction with this woman and the way that she's treated him. That's not right. It's not right at all. She's then gone home and written an article about the fact that certain YouTubers should be banned. The audacity of somebody who has managed to make 2 people feel awful in the last week to then say that they should be banned after Sargon paid for his industry pass and Boogie was invited to speak on a panel with her and share a space with her that she then made him feel guilty for is unbelievable. But it seems like she's allowed to get away with it. That's the overwhelming thing I got from the Boogie video. That's the overwhelming thing I got from the audience. The questions, if they were anything that was remotely tricky or going at the fact that maybe what she was talking about was something that maybe even somebody like me could share, were brushed off. I'm reading this from Hank and John, and this is what it says. It's openly known that women on the internet are subject to far greater amounts and intensity of harassment and abuse than men. Shut the fuck up. No. Is there a study for this? I went to the panel. I listened to everything these guys had to say. Even Ali Speed, even the other people who were sat there talking. And they were going on about all the stuff that happens. Like, one that stood out for me was, people are constantly asking you to do beauty brand deals. My mate Brad Does Banter, who talks about feminism on the internet, who is a male YouTuber, he's a very northern teenager, gets brand deals from makeup all the time. I don't see him hosting a panel at VidCon getting very upset at that. Oh, people send stuff to your address. Yeah, I've had people tell me, I sat on Google Maps for 8 hours the day you showed your front door to find out where you live. And I don't appreciate that too. But am I getting a VidCon panel? No, in fact, at this point, it seems like I'm actually being told to fuck off from VidCon because I'm associating with my friends who go under the same amount of things. Do you know what it's called? It's called relevancy on the internet. When people know who you are, they're not really going to like you. People are going to watch this video and not like me. And do you know what? I accept that. And do you know what the worst thing you could do is? Tell people that they should hate those people. Because do you know what happens when you do that? You encourage a war, which is something that in Gamergate you did. And you're repeating it again with trolls and harassment. 2 things you can't get rid of. But it's even better when no trolls and harassers turn up to talk to you and you make them up just to validate yourself. And then you insult them when they haven't said anything to you but listened to you talk and been respectful. And when nice guys sit on panels with you and talk about how you should fight back with love, you then pull him out at the backstage and go, don't take a selfie with me because you're going to use it against me.
A couple more panelists had their closing arguments, and then we left the stage, and I'm shaking, very, very nervous, but I felt like it went well. And when I get off of the stage at the bottom of the panels, there's Anita, and she seemed to be very, very upset. And I don't remember exactly what she said. I'm paraphrasing here, but she said in a very upset that I think it was very fucking uncool that you said what you said there at the end, knowing that no one else would have enough time to respond. And I politely asked her for her selfie because I had planned to do that from the beginning anyway, and she politely declined because she said, you know, I don't really know where you stand on these types of things, and I just don't know if I could trust you not to use that against me.
I watched Andy Warski, Francesca Ramsey, and Bunty King meet up and have a civil conversation where they came out on even ground. I've only watched people from both sides talk about the fact that they have been jumping to conclusions they shouldn't have, because meeting people in real life really changes your perspective on things. And you could say that about any YouTuber and really any person. You meet the people in real life you dislike on here, I can tell you 99% of the chances you're not going to have that opinion validated that you had before you met them. But Anita Sarkeesian doesn't give two fucks. She's here with the opinion that she has, and she's going to stick with the fucker to the end. And that's what she's done, and the consequences are nothing. No. And she doesn't even have to pay to be there. Sargon flies in from England to hang out with his friends and pay for an industry pass, and it looks like he might even get banned at this point. We haven't gone home and written articles saying that YouTubers should be banned. I haven't even asked for Anita to be banned, but you said that she gets a second chance. Boogie 298 was the second chance, and that's Boogie. For God's sake, it's Boogie. This isn't Sargon of a Card now. This isn't Chris Reagan. This isn't Edgy ImAllexx. This is Boogie 298, the nicest gaming YouTuber there is on the platform. Man doesn't even make feminist wrecked compilations, you know? But no, that's opportunity 2, and she's still managing to come back next year. Can't wait for that panel. What's she going to talk about? The fact that males are allowed to attend her panels? Wow, there's men here. Can we please get rid of them? Because every man who went up to ask her a question, she sent away. That's it from me. Thanks for watching this video. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's hope that next time I turn up to VidCon, I don't intimidate people just by being there. But I'm guessing at this point, this haircut won't help. See you guys next time. Peace out, people, and have a good day.